guys. I know I'm just a couple minutes early, but I never know when to actually push that live button. Let me readjust this camera a little bit so I can reach it a little better. There we go. Oh, I guess I should have looked in the mirror before I went live, but it is a pajama party, so I am in my PJs and all ready for bed. Oh my goodness. I wanted to connect with you guys tonight because we missed last Thursday night because I was busy. And I am telling you guys, I missed that greatly. Hey, Sandy, glad to see you on here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, last Thursday I didn't get to go live and I felt like all week, just like I didn't have that connection and I was missing out. And oh my goodness, it almost gave me a lonely feeling like I'm missing my best girlfriend. You know what I mean? So I obviously need this back and forth. Hey, Crystal. It is. It's so important. And I didn't realize when I started this channel how much I would come to rely on the support that I get from all my subscribers. But I look forward to every night getting off of work, coming home, watching everybody's journey, catching up on the comment sections. It just means so much to me. Tonight I did something different that I've never done before with a live. Normally I post it on my Facebook page and my We're Losing It site, but tonight I posted in the Life Through a Lens, and I posted in Keto Inspirations, and then I went ahead and posted in Tammy's group, Keto in the Chaos. And I am telling you, I got reprimanded. I could not believe it. I got told that I was rude. Oh, no, disrespectful. That was disrespectful to Tamara, which really shocked me because before I ever would promote myself in somebody else's group, I read the pinned post and there is nothing in there. I didn't have one today because I was busy. I didn't get home until after 5 o'clock, so I didn't have a Thirsty Thursday this morning. And I was busy. I'm so sorry. But when I posted it in there, I read the pinned post before I did it just to make sure that we were allowed to share. And it never said anything about sharing. And Tammy is so generous and constantly shouts everybody out. She's shouted me out several times. So I didn't think anything about saying, hey guys, tonight I'm going to have a pajama party at 9 o'clock. Her admin come on there and told me that I was being disrespectful. And I thought, oh my goodness, I love Tamara and I would never be disrespectful at all. I feel uncomfortable. I've always called her Tammy and she called her Tamara, and it throws me. And I know that is her name, but I've always called her Tammy. But yeah, so I'm like, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. You know, I read the pinned post. She's always shouting everybody out. I didn't think it'd be a problem to say, hey, I'm having a pajama party tonight at 9 o'clock. I said, but I'll go ahead and remove it. And she's like, well, just don't do it again because without asking. She said, because if you get to post a pajama party, we'll have everybody posting a pajama party. Okay. So who cares? Somebody else promoting their journey in your Facebook group or in your comment section of one of your videos, I don't see how that affects your journey and your channel. If you guys want to post something in my comment section, please do. And you don't even have to be keto to do it. So if you want to post your pagan channel, if you want to post your Christian channel, if you want to post your dancing channel or your cooking channel, whatever it is you want to promote, if you want to promote yourself in my comment section, feel free to do that. That does not take away from my journey at all. If you want to go over to We're Losing It and post your page there and promote yourself, please do that because you know what? I do that. I share people's posts to my pages and I try to get as many people out there as I possibly can. So I was very hurt by that. And that happened 10 minutes before I went live. So I was literally, instead of going in and brushing my hair, I was wiping my tears and cleaning up my face because it did upset me. And I thought, oh my goodness, everything Tammy went through in the group that will not be named, the reason she started her whole group was because of that petty stuff. And I thought, really? Her admin needs to take a deep breath. Yes! yeah, I was surprised, but I need to let it go. That's not what this is about. This is about us having fun and sharing our week experiences. Yeah, they are. Groups are so touchy. I don't understand it. I don't know how, I don't understand it. But I guess in the bigger groups, it can get overwhelming when that's all that's blowing up the news feed is self-promotion. But I didn't even think of that when I posted my pajama party. Didn't even, like I said, she's always shouting everybody out. I didn't even think that it would be a problem. So I went in to remove it. And I thought, well, I need to, hey, apologize. So I put, sorry about any disrespect. And I removed, though, the link to my channel and the live pajama party thing. Well, then the admin didn't like that at all. And she just deleted the whole post, which is fine and dandy. She don't want my apology up there. She wants to reprimand. Well, she should have just removed the original post. Then don't reprimand me. And then when I apologize, that makes you uncomfortable because I apologized and then removed the whole post. She just should have removed the whole post from the get-go. Why us go through all that in the comment section? And then when I apologized, that's when she removed it. And that's a weirdness to me. But anyway. Oh, I'm sure she didn't because it was just a couple minutes. There's no way. There's no way Tammy saw that. No way at all. No way. It was just the admin felt like I had disrespected her. And that's the word she used, disrespected. And then when I apologized for it, that I didn't mean any disrespect, she took it down, took the whole thing down. So it's okay. I don't think Tammy would have at all. Like I said, she's called all of us out. I don't see, and like I said, it wasn't like, it was just, hey, I'm having a live tonight at 9:00. If anybody wanted to join, basically is all, hey, get on here and have fun. And anytime Tammy's having a live or somebody else is having a live, I always share it to my Facebook group so people will know, that they're going live. But it's okay. Well, it's already been taken down, and I don't even know the girl's name. I couldn't even tell you who it was. That I know it was an admin, but I couldn't tell you. Yeah, that's what I said. Tammy has shouted me out so many times, and I don't know why it upset me so, but it was the word disrespect. When she said that I had disrespected Tammy, that's, I guess, what hurt my feelings, because I have so much respect for Tammy. So much that I don't want to do anything that she would find disrespectful or hurtful or in any way harmful to her channel or her page, And I know we follow a different version of keto, and maybe that's why she found it disrespectful, but, Hey, NonnaGrace. Just TV5. Oh, Wee Wee's doing so much better. You guys, it's not even been on the keto journey now for 10 days, and he is running in the yard. He's out there rolling around in the leaves. He feels so much better, and he was on that gabapentin for a month. So I took him off of that 9 days ago. Well, tomorrow will be 10 days. So, almost 10 days, and he's already with the gelatin collagen powder and the turmeric powder. He has already made such a big difference in the way he feels, and I can see it. He's running around the yard acting like a puppy. So he's definitely loving keto. Definitely loving keto. And the cats, we integrated really slowly. We sort of mixed stuff with their kitty kibble because my cats are so picky. So picky. But we finally ran out of the kibble tonight. So they are 100% keto tomorrow. So the kitties are finally on it too. And I don't think they're going to mind because I've noticed them both eating a little bit more with the other stuff in their feed. So I think it's going to be good for the cats too. And even if they go in a slump where they don't eat for a while, they'll eventually realize that that's all they have. So they're either going to eat it or, they'll eat it. Oh my goodness. Oh, and you guys, I know you guys already know, but I lost my 100 pounds, 100.2. I could not wait to post that. And then when I went into my Fitness Pal and updated the weight on there, I didn't even notice it was my 300th day. I lost 100 pounds on my 300th day of keto. So it's like, yes. And then on that same day, I've got my 100th person in the We're Losing It group. So I got screenshots of that where it says 300 and 100 pounds. And then on the We're Losing It group, when I accepted that last member, 100 whatever it is on Facebook, followers or whatever. I was like, oh my goodness. Those are some lucky numbers. I need to be doing something with that. Oh, and then I took NonnaGrace's advice and went and did some shopping for myself for my 100-pound goal or reward. So I went and I ordered the hiking boots that we were talking about off of Amazon, and I couldn't get them in the 2-day shipping because of my shoe size being a size 5. So I had to like sort of special order them, but they said they would be here by April 28th, I think is what it said. So somewhere in there, it gave me a this date to this date. So I did get my hiking boots, and I didn't spend too much for them. They were $59. Yes, my husband does that. We are the Lollipop Guild. He sings that all the time to me. We are the Lollipop Guild. But, you know, I'm almost 4'11". I can stretch out sometimes and make it there, I think. But then I also got myself a new leather-bound journal. Look, oh, and it smells so good. But that way I can just journal all my stuff and document my journey in paper. But I just loved it. It was beautiful. And then I got myself, and it was on clearance for $5, but I don't know why. Because it's not dated. But the reason I loved it so much is because it says achievements. And I am going to write in here, reached 100 pounds. 100-pound loss. So that was the whole reason I bought this agenda, because I don't need one for this time of year. I've already got everything, but I wanted to be able to put in that where it said achievements, 100-pound loss. So $5 for an agenda just for that one little segment, but I'll fill it in. Fill it in with other things. I got to catch up on the comments because things have been flying by and I've just been rambling. It is, yes, Deb, it is a little bit more expensive. She said, how much more expensive is it cooking for animal versus their kibble? It is quite a bit more expensive. We would eat, his bag of kibble was about $20, and his treats about the same, about $20, but it would last him nearly 2 months. So it was $40 for 2 months. The tripe cost me, because I'm not going to get it from the local farmer anymore. Oh my God, guys, that stuff smells so nasty, and I know it's fresh, but to scoop it out and then find the room in my freezer for all those little containers. So this is the only time I'm getting the tripe from the local farmer. From now on, I had already ordered it off of Amazon, so I'd be prepared. That link that I had put in the bottom of that description box for the tripe from Amazon, I went ahead and ordered that. So that's going to be enough for Wee Wee for 3 months. So right there's $50. And then the chicken that he would go through in a month is $20. The liver he'll go through in a month is about $20. So we're looking at it going up to almost $30 a month compared to $40 for every 2 months. So it is quite a bit more expensive to put your pets on keto. Thanks, guys, for all the congratulations. Okay. Just TV5 said, got really sick and was impossible to find low carb over the counter meds. Do you know of any? No, I don't, because I have the same problem. And I figure when I'm sick, that takes precedent and I don't worry about it. So when I'm sick, now I don't eat carbs, but I don't worry about the medication that I'm taking. I take what's needed. I stay away from the cough syrups, and I gargle my Soleil water for when I have an itchy sore throat. So the pure Soleil water, I don't put in anything. I just toss it back and gargle it, swallow a little bit so it's coating the whole interior of my throat, and then spit out the rest. And even if you're not having an icky throat, the salt water is antibacterial, so it will go in there and kill all the microbes. I also up my apple cider vinegar intake, and I up my lemon juice intake because, again, they're antibacterial, and the lemon juice has your vitamin C in it. So I do it more holistically, but I still take any medications, no matter how many carbs are in those pills. I still take those, and I just try to stay away from the cough syrups and the syrupy stuff and the jelly stuff that sometimes they'll try to prescribe you. But I try to go a holistic approach, but when it comes to the medication, I don't worry about the carbs with that, because your health, when you're that sick, take care of your health first. You'll still be losing because your calories are going to be low, plus you're going to be sick, and you're probably going to be eliminating anyway. And when you're sick, I think your metabolism burns hotter because it's trying to get rid of the virus itself. So don't worry about kicking yourself out of ketosis. In that point in time, you're going to get back in really quick. Yeah. I'm 4'10 3/4", Diamond. I'm almost as tall as your sister. And I have to shop in the children's section. It's, it's a pain. My sister Charlene's in the house. She just made it. Oh, NonnaGrace, her shoe sizes are a 3. I bet you definitely have a hard time finding those shoes. I go shopping at the shoe stores. Nothing here in Cambridge is below a size 6. At our Walmart, our shoe stores, nobody sells below a size 6. So you have to shop in the kids' shoe department to get anything. Now I can go to bigger cities, and some of their shoe stores will have a 5. But typically, it's nothing I would be comfortable wearing. For some reason, it's a lot of dainty heel shoes. It's like, why? I don't want to wear heels. I just want a good size 5 tennis shoe that doesn't have Barbie or Dora the Explorer on it. Hey, Marjorie. Oh, hey, Lyrica. Everybody's here tonight. Oh, I'm so glad. Now, that's one thing I wasn't sure what to find, Deb, was grain-free, like dry kibble. I know you can, but I just went ahead and went for the make it myself, and we'll see how long I can afford to do it. Oh, yeah, that tripe smelled like poo, NonnaGrace. It was, and I'm still, okay, I'm still going to give it to him till it's gone. I'm not going to waste it. But yeah, maybe the canned stuff will be better. And I don't have to like cook that. The only thing that the vet said I have to cook, because he's domesticated, so he can get salmonella just like we can, is I've got to cook the chicken. And she said the eggs, as long as something about the eggs, that I don't have to cook the eggs as long as they were something, but I just cook them. I'm not going to say I cook them every time, because there's twice when I've given them eggs that weren't cooked. But, oh my gosh, Lyrica, you're only 4'9"? See, that makes me tall at 4'10 3/4. Yeah, I will post a video. What I'll do is I'll post a video of my whole process of making his dog food. Because what I've been doing too, and Oh, Sandy, you have a good night. Thanks for stopping in. I will post a video on how I make his dog food, because what I did is first I cook down the chicken in a crock pot and I put it in before I go to bed in the morning, take it out, debone it. Then I leave the bones in there and I make bone broth. Pour that off all the way down to the bone where it's level with the bones. Leave them in there for another night, and those bones turn to mush. And then I put it through a food processor and turn that into a paste, so I don't have to worry about slivers or shards. And when you pick those bones up, you can just squeeze them. And then that way he gets all that good marrow. So he's getting chicken. He's getting the bone marrow. He's getting the bone broth itself after it congeals. He's getting the tripe. He's getting liver. So I'll go through that whole process of how I make it up for him and post a video on that. How about we do that next Tutorial Tuesday? You guys can look forward to seeing that. And that way, just the whole process. And as I do it, each night I'll record, because I plan on cooking him more chicken Saturday night. So Saturday through Sunday, I'll just get that whole process recorded and post that on Tutorial Tuesday. Well, I don't know if Sandy's already gone, but blow kisses, good night, she said. Oh my gosh. Okay. What else? There was something else I want to talk about. Oh, I want to talk about where I went to lunch today. We went to lunch at this place called, oh my goodness, I always say it. I always say Jiffy Lube, and that's not what it's called. Quaker Steak and Lube is what it's called. And I ordered wings there, and the waitress went and she checked to see if there was any sugar in the hot wings, and there wasn't. So I ordered hot wings, and I ordered just the dry rubbed ribs with no barbecue sauce on them. And I ordered celery sticks and ranch. So my whole meal looked fantastic. Oh, and a steamed broccoli. My whole meal there looked fantastic, 100% keto. I walked out of there with just 5 carbs for my whole lunch. It was great. So that was a place I hadn't thought about going on keto, but you definitely can. And they call them sidecars as your side items. They had the steamed broccoli. They had the celery and ranch. They had green beans with red peppers sauteed together. So they had 3 keto side items that you could get. Then they had quite a few hamburger options that was keto. Their ribs. They had the boneless, skinless, breadless chicken tenders. They called them, I think they just called them naked wings or something like that, but it was the chicken tender is what it was, so that you didn't have to worry about breading or bones or none of that. So they had that as an option. And then they also had a buffet, which we didn't know about until after we had already ordered and stuff. But it was $10.99, and it was all the wings you could eat, plus a salad bar, plus their green beans was on there. I think their steamed broccoli was on there. So even at that, at $10.99, it could be made very keto. So for those of you that's in bigger cities and have that Quaker Steak and Lube, is that what it's called? I don't think it's got I think it's just a Quaker Steak. I don't know. It looks like an oil place. I guess that's why I keep calling it lube. But they have very good keto options there. And it was good. Everything we had was good. My friend Abby, she's keto too, and she went and she ordered this butter cheeseburger that is just a cheeseburger with this buttered sauce on it, and it looked awesome. So quite a few keto things. Yeah, my sister said it is Quaker Steak and Lube. Okay, I wasn't sure if the lube was on there, if I was just thinking because it seemed like, because I kept calling it first, we were going to the Jiffy Lube, and I knew that wasn't right. We weren't eating at the Jiffy Lube. But we had fun. We had fun. And then we stopped in at that, oh gosh, I'm not going to remember what it's called either. It's the place like TJ Maxx, Home Goods. And picked up a few things and got our pink salt, and we got bottles of skinny syrup and all kind of stuff. Yeah, go in there and check it out, NonnaGrace, because they had so many options. Oh, and steak. They had steak too. So it wasn't like, you could go in there and have no problem keeping it keto. So I was impressed. Yeah, it was good. Yes, and Steinmart. I hadn't been in there for years. So we went into Steinmart, and they had so much cute stuff. I like when I'm dieting, or anytime. I don't have to say when I'm dieting, because it's just, I like eating off of pretty dainty dishes. And the smaller and the daintier and more delicate, the better. And it makes me be mindful of when I put it in my mouth. And I slow down when I'm eating off of dainty stuff. And they had so many beautiful dishes in there. Plates and teaware. The stuff was just gorgeous. And the price is unbelievably reasonable. So if you can find a Steinmart in your area, it borders on that same price range as TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods. It's not associated with them, but it is bordering on the same thing. I just had a text come across here, and that's what it sort of stalled me a second. It is my cousin Brian. Him and I are like brother and sister. We're like siblings. We were actually born on the same day, 7 minutes apart. And he's been on his own weight loss journey. And it just come across the screen here. Hey, cuz, congratulations on your weight loss. I've lost 50 pounds. Congratulations, Brian. The first time I've been under 300 in a while. Oh my gosh. So I don't know if you guys can hear those chimes, but that's him texting me. I'll have to get in touch with him after we get off here. But yeah, so this keto is spreading like wildfire. And I love it because like people in my family are seeing me lose weight, and it's inspiring them to start their own journey and be like, I can do this. Okay, now that, whoever that was, oh, it's coming up on my other phone. Oops, I'm hearing more chiming, but nothing's coming across the screen. So, oh yeah, they do have the hot wings, and you have to sign a release to eat those. I remember my sister Brenda, before she had passed away, we went to that Buffalo Wild Wings, which is it's not got all that neat stuff to look at, but they have all the wings with all the different flavors. And she ordered the hottest ones on the menu. And the waiter was like, oh, we need you to sign this release. And she's like, well, okay. So she signed it. And the waiter told her, he said, I'm telling you what, if you can eat these wings, he goes, I am paying for, because she insisted she could eat them. And I'm like, I bet she can. She can eat some pretty hot stuff. And he's like, well, I'll tell you what, if you can eat these wings, I will pay for your guys' dinner, and I'll send you home with an order. So my sister ate those wings like there was no tomorrow. And everybody come out and watching because she finished them all. No problem. And so they paid for our meal like he said he would. So we did not have to pay, and they sent her home with 2 orders of those hot wings. And here, my sister, due to all the years of medication, her mouth and stomach area was just sort of had no feeling, no taste buds. She had to have things strong to be able to taste it. So, yeah, not Charlene, it was Brenda. So she had to have stuff that strong, that hot, or that intense in flavor to even taste it. So for her, it wasn't hot at all. But I told the guy, I said, we knew she'd be able to eat these from the get-go. And I tried to explain to him that he didn't have to pay for our dinner, that it sort of felt like you were cheating, like, a pool shark would go in there and act like he's shooting a bad game of pool and then come up after a challenge and then shoot really good. That's what it felt like to me. But nope, he's like, we said it, so we're going to honor it. And yeah, so they paid for her dinner, my dinner, and sent us home with, yeah, Charlene, it's called hustling. That's what it felt like. It felt like we went in there and hustled them over those wings. But yeah, I know. Up my cat. I'm sorry, guys. Every time Ella, this is my little girl, Ella. Every witch needs a black cat. Every time I set this up, it makes her curious because she's like, what are you doing? What is all this about? So what it is, how I get this set up is I take a bar stool and I turn it upside down, and then I clamp my light and my clamp that holds my phone to the bar stool upside down. But it makes her curious, and for her, the bar stool then becomes a jungle gym. Oh, it's okay, Joanie. He is such a sweetheart. I'm telling you what, I love watching your guys' videos. Oh, and by the way, guys, I have been watching your videos. I have just been so busy that I haven't been able to comment, because what I do is how I watch them is I hook my phone to my, sorry, got to kick her off again. Hook my phone to my, like in my car, the mount that I used to record. I hook my phone to that and play the videos and listen to you guys as I'm going from meeting to meeting and errand to errand. So that way I'm not missing out on anything, but at the same time, it doesn't give me the opportunity to comment. So I try to catch back up when I get home. And here lately, I've just been so busy. So I have been following everything. I have seen everybody's, except for today's. Anybody that's posted today, I haven't seen anything yet. But after this is done, I'll go get settled in the living room and catch up on everybody and watch. But yeah, I haven't been able to comment. I don't think I've really commented for 3 days now because I've just been so busy. But I've still been fitting everything in, getting it all to work. So how's everybody doing? Are you guys... got some achievements that I can shout out on Saturday? Nonna, she has a black cat, but he's evil. Oh, mine's a sweetheart. I mean, like, I have never seen a cat like Ella. It won't roll up, guys. There it goes. Yeah, I do too. Crystal said she loves coming home, settling in, and watching everybody's video. That's how I decompress, is just listen to you guys, tell your stories. And then if I've had a bad day, it makes me feel better about, that, we all go through sometimes a rough day, or, just listening to how good a day you guys have just makes me feel better. So I don't mind the stories one way or another. If people's talking about how rough of a time they had, I turned 40. Woo! Happy birthday, Aimme. I turned 47 last, what was it? Yeah, a week ago. It's that 51. By 50, I'm going to be rocking it. I'm going to be rocking it by 50. I'm going to be, because think about it. Okay, I've got another 100 pounds to lose. So now I know it's not going to come off as quickly as this first 100 pounds. This first 100 pounds I lost in 10 months. So, yeah, so that'll give me a couple years to get that next 100 off. Because they say it slows down dramatically after you get 50% off the weight that you want to lose. So right now I'm exactly 50%. So, but Aimme, you're tiny. She's tiny, y'all. If you guys don't watch Aimme, you've got to watch her. And she's been busting out all those push-ups over the last month with that April challenge. And oh my goodness. So now she's got all that lean muscle mass working for her. It's fantastic. Plus all the hiking she's been doing. Oh my goodness, the footage you've been putting up is beautiful. The park you and your husband went hiking in the other day was just lovely. Oh, Keto-licious Life, Charlene. I'm sorry. Keto-licious Life is Aimme. And Diamond is Joanie. And I forget that Yeah, you guys don't know each other like that. So sorry. Yeah, Amy's Ketolicious Life, and when I talk about Joanie, that's Diamond. Keto Diamond. But yeah. Oh my goodness. I want to right now it's like I'm wanting to just get out and do. Uh when I'm stuck at home, I just I keep thinking about what I could be doing. And this weather, oh my goodness, with what I'll do, Charlene, is after this video is done and I'm able to go back in and edit the information, I'll link their channels. Anybody, NonnaGrace's, Amy's, Joanie's, I'll link everybody's down below that's been on. Just TV is, yeah, I'll link everybody's down below. So that way, you know, everybody gets a visit. Or once it's loaded, guys, comment in the comment section, just a smiley face or, hey, I was on or whatever. And then, yeah, you can, well, see, their names won't be on unless they go into the comment section and type. Because, like the recap, I don't know if that links their channels in the recap or not. I'm not sure how that works now that they've put it, because before, once the live was over, all that information was gone. The chat was gone. But now you can hit live chat and you can see it, but I don't know if you can go to the channels from that. I don't know. But anyway, either way, if we can't, I'll link them. Do you have any tips for starting to upload videos? No, because on my first day, I just was like, I'm doing this. I just set the table in front of me, or set my phone up in front of me, in front of the table, and I didn't even like think about what I wanted to say. I just pushed record and started telling my story. So that's my tip to you. Don't script it out too much. You know, you don't have to have like a script or a guideline or what I'm going to have a theme maybe for your day, what you're going to talk about. But just get on there and ramble. Just tell your story. And that way, because people want to follow somebody that is just being themselves. It's raw. It's honest. This is in the moment. This is what I'm doing. Tell your ups and your downs. Don't just post your ups, because your downs help other people realize they're not alone. There's somebody else in that same boat with them, and it makes their journey easier. So when you have people that just post the ups all the time, and when they're going through a down, there's a lull in their channel, I noticed that they're not going to have people listening to them much longer, because they want both of that. They want all of it. They want the whole, like, yeah, honest and as personal as you can be. Joanie's right, because that is what makes somebody realize they're not alone. And that's why we're all here. We're here for support. And so that we know that we're not alone. We know that this girl's going through the same thing I'm going through. And if she can do it, I can do it. So yeah, my advice to you is just sit down, tell your story, go from there. People's going to ask you questions. They're going to comment. And that's going to prompt other things to lead to your next video to talk about. So just document your story, because people will follow you, because they're going to need that support. And then they're going to be supporting you because you've got that feedback, and we all need that. No, I didn't. I need Limakwame. I'll go look her up. I think I've seen stuff from her before, but it doesn't come up all the time. I think she's one of those ones that for some reason I've subscribed to her, and then I end up unsubscribed again. So, because there's a few that happens to me. I'll subscribe to them, and then they'll come up in my suggestions as somebody to watch. And when I go to their channel, here I am unsubscribed, and I've missed like 10 videos. So I have not seen hers in a while, and I'm sure I was subscribed to her at one point. So I'm going to have to go and check. Yeah, just start. Just TV, just start. Yeah, Charlene, but you might be lazy keto, but look at what's going on. You're losing, you're getting healthier, and you just have to do it at your own pace. We've got to make keto doable for us. Some of us can be very, very strict, and some of us can't be. Some of us have to be strict. It's not just that we want to be strict. We have to be strict to stay on plan. And there's some of us that can let little things slip in and it don't snowball and it doesn't go out of control. I can be lazy when it comes to things like soy. Those kind of things don't bother me. Soy doesn't bother me. Things like that. So I can go to the Chinese restaurant and make it keto and be able to stay on plan and not get out of control. But I know if I was to eat a slice of white bread, it would be all over for me. So, I couldn't do it. I couldn't have a little bit of this and that and stay on plan. But there's some, they can, and that's fine. That's what people need to understand is whatever keto is for you is okay. So that's why I always say no keto police, because what's keto for one doesn't have to be keto for the other. And technically, all keto is keeping the carbs low enough that you're in ketosis. It really doesn't matter what you're eating. If your body is physically in ketosis, you're doing a ketogenic diet. Your carbs are low enough that you're in keto. And it doesn't matter where those carbs are coming from. Where that matters, carb sources, is the other things you have going on in your body. So you don't want things that's going to cause inflammation if you have a bad problem with arthritis. Or you don't want, so you've got to cater it to your own personal needs. And if you need to clean it up, clean it up. And if you don't, eat whatever way you're going to enjoy, because that's what you're going to do for the long haul. And you're going to maintain that road for the rest of your life if you're enjoying it. And right now, I am loving. I couldn't imagine eating anywhere way else, because this is the first time in my lifetime that I have been able to enjoy my food. So for me, that's key. How long did it take you to get the energy boost? Okay, my energy boost came within the first 2 weeks, but I literally was at death's door. I was miserable, and I honestly thought in May that I was going to die. And I was finally like, get control of yourself. What are you doing? You sitting here thinking you're going to die and you're not doing anything. So finally, June 1st, it was actually the last day of May, I came across people talking about keto on YouTube. And that's when I decided, okay, I'm starting today. So on June 1st, in the late evening, I had a green tea, a green honest tea that had sugar in it, and I dumped it down the drain. So I say I started keto in that moment, but I had already been carb heavy for that day. So from that moment on the last day of May, I didn't have anything else. Then on June 1st, when I woke up, I made sure everything I put in my mouth that day was keto, and I haven't looked back since. So I was in ketosis. I'm thinking by the end of that week, my sister got me a thing of Keto Strips, and I tested myself. So it didn't take me long to slip in, because I thought it would take a couple weeks to slip into ketosis. It didn't. When I tested myself, I don't think I was a full week in, and that strip was purple. It was as dark as it could get. And let's see. So, but within 2 weeks, my pain was disappearing. Within 2 weeks, my morning blood sugars that was up in the mid 200s had come down to normal. My blood pressure that was in stroke level had come down to very close to normal within that first 2 weeks. So I had already felt that energy boost. I was wanting to get up and go and do. And that was so shocking to me, because I was still up over 300 pounds, of course. Within the first 2 weeks, I think the first week I lost 10 pounds, maybe 12 pounds. It was a lot. It was a lot that first week. And then the next week, okay, no. The first week, yeah, it was 12. The next week was 10. So in that first 2 weeks, I lost 22 pounds. And so I was feeling that energy boost quite quickly. And Lori, that means you're using your ketones efficiently. So don't worry if you know you're eating keto. You know you're eating according to plan, but your strips don't color. It's because your body is efficiently using the ketones that it's producing for fuel. So it's okay that they're not in your urine because you're using them the way you should be. Your body's burning them up. Yeah, I never got to try the Weight Watchers things because it never coincided with my work schedule. So I was like, well, can't I just come? Like, I wanted to join and do, and the lady was mean to me on the phone. She's like, no, you either need to commit and work around it or you just don't do it. And I was like, okay, well, you're not a support group in my opinion. I'm telling you, I cannot do that because of my job. So I can't come to all these meetings they wanted me to come to. And they were horrible. The people at our local Weight Watchers was very, very mean to me. So I never joined. I've never done Weight Watchers. Charlene says, we're going back to Asheville to hike the waterfalls and have a tour guide. Oh, I'm going to be ready. I've already been going out to Salt Fork and walking and hiking. I'm going to have no problem. No problem this year. Yeah, Crystal, you don't want purple. Now, purple, when you first get into keto, your body at first doesn't know how to burn those ketones. They don't know what to do with them. So they just flood your system. And then once your body learns to use them efficiently, then you can fall off the strips and not have any color at all. It doesn't mean that you're not still in ketosis. So as long as you're following the plan, it doesn't matter if you have color on those strips or not. Just throw them away and don't worry about it. Don't worry about the strips. Don't worry about the meters. They're fun. They are, but it's not a necessity. I want you guys to watch Diamond's video, and I will link it below after I'm able to update this. She's got a video on keto is free. Keto's free. You do not need a thing on this diet. It is a lack of. It is what you are not eating that makes keto, not what you're adding to. So you don't need any extra ketones or ketones drinks or keto coffee that you can get. None of that stuff people sells do you need to buy. Oh, I never even knew there was an app for weight lossers, Crystal. I guess once they made me mad, I never looked back at them. Yeah, that's true too. It can mean dehydration. Diamond was talking about the keto strips. The purple can mean dehydration because then everything, when your body's dehydrated, everything goes up. All your levels go up because it's that same amount of stuff in less liquid. It's concentrated. That's right. Ketosis is free, 100%. So, yeah. So don't worry about buying the strips or the meters or the juices or the drinks or the powders or none of that. You don't need any of it. Just keep your carbs under a level that will keep you in ketosis. And for me, that's, okay, I do net carbs because I believe we should be having a lot of green leafy veg. So I do net carbs, but I don't do net carbs. I wouldn't eat things like a keto wrap and try to make that net. Not saying people shouldn't be eating their low carb wraps. If you want to eat those, fine, eat those, but count all of the carbs in that. Don't subtract the fiber from the low carb wraps. Subtract your fiber from your green leafy veg and from your healthy fruits. your low sugar fruits. So your avocados, your cucumbers, those things you can subtract the carbs from. And that's just my opinion. That's how I do it. You guys do it however you want. But I have been able to stay in ketosis from day one doing net. Yeah, you want to drink a lot of water too. And make sure you keep that. But Aimme, you are so tiny. And I think that might have a lot to do with it too. Because I think the bigger you are, the more energy you're going to use, the more calories you're going to, energy you're going to need to use up. So maybe that's why yours are always purple, but who knows? You know what I mean? All I know is as long as you guys are following the plan and you're losing the weight, don't worry. And don't go out and buy those strips just to have them, or buy the keto monitors and drive yourself crazy. Well, I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. How come this strip's not this color or that color? It just because it's not. And realize too, those strips aren't good forever, guys. Sorry, I had set an alarm a week ago to remind me to go live at 10 p.m. And then when I changed it to 9, I forgot to change that weekly alarm. So that's why it was going off. It was telling me you got 10 minutes till you're live. Oh, what are you, a size 10? She said she don't feel tiny. Oh, you're banging, girl. You're looking good. You vape? I vape. So drinking all the time, just water. I don't know what that means. I vape. Lori, I'm so sorry. I don't know what that means. I'll have to look it up. Son type 1, so I had them. Oh, the keto strips. Yeah. Joanie does the vape too. Huh. Is that a ketone meter? Even with a blood right, the keto stuff only measures what's left in your blood. So if you're if you're using the ketones, if your body's using them efficiently and you're burning them all up, there's nothing going to be left in the blood. So all these people, okay, I need to find out. Oh, Deb's telling me. Oh, it's cigarettes. Oh, okay. Okay, I know what that is. I got it. It's pretend smoking. Okay. I don't smoke, so I guess that's why I didn't know what it was. I mean, I know what it is now that you guys, I was thinking it was something to do with keto, something I was missing. I'm like, oh, what am I missing? I thought I knew not everything, but knew pretty much all of it. I have a problem with smoke, not other people smoking, with me smoking, because when I was 6 years old in school, they did this thing. They showed us just in class, not to deter us from smoking, but just to show us how tobacco was produced and all that, and how they made it into cigarettes. Well, they were showing this tobacco, and a bird pooped on a leaf. And the interviewer asked the farmer about that, and he goes, oh no, the leaves can't be washed. He said they're processed and dehydrated just how they are. And, and it like, oh my gosh, you mean people are rolling up and smoking these leaves that got bird poop on them? And that stuck with my little 6-year-old mind. And I used to swear when I could hear, or when people were around me smoking, I would always tell my mom, I can smell it. It smells like burning poop. So I never, like when peer pressure and my friends was trying smoking, oh no. I would be like, no, those are poop sticks. I'm not smoking that. So, oh yeah, Aimme, now that I know what it is, and you are correct, my family, I have family that lives out in Seattle, and that's how they smoke. They have the oil in that little pen thing. Yeah, and that's how they smoke. Out there in Seattle, there's like a shop on every corner. I was shocked at how prevalent. I was like, wow, it's not just like a little bit. It's everywhere. So, yeah, and that's how my aunt and my cousins do. They smoke that's the vape pen thingy. Yeah, I am glad I got showed that too as a kid. But it put me off, and I'll never forget it. Like when I see, because my husband smokes regular cigarettes. He doesn't do the vape thingy. But I tell him all the time, I smell poo. So, yeah. You can smell it in the air in Seattle. Is that what you're talking about, Shirlene? Yes, we could smell it in the air. Like I said, there was one around every corner. You could definitely smell it in the air. Well, Crystal, you'll have to go to a state that Colorado, they have them out there, and I know Seattle does because my cousins all buy it around the corner from their apartment. Diamond says she'd just rather smoke the real stuff. Oh, California, you can do it too? Yeah, eventually it'll be everywhere. I shouldn't say never smoked it. If I'm going to do it, I'd rather have somebody make me a brownie or a piece of candy. Well, now I can't. I'm keto, so I guess I'm just out. When they make it legal, I'm just out. I don't get any of it because I'm keto. So, or there has to be a way to make it keto friendly, I would think, somehow. See, but the gummy bears aren't keto. Oh, sugar-free ones. Yeah, we could do some sugar-free gelatin somehow. How would we put the oil in there? I don't know. Well, I could, but I don't want to do that. It hurts. Even being in the room with the people that smoke regular cigarettes, if it gets too smoky, I can feel that in my lungs. I honestly... No, I mean, if anybody wants to smoke, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying I don't understand how you guys, like how your lungs don't hurt you. I don't understand how it, I would think that would hurt. Oh, that's right. I can do the vape thing, Cindy. That's right. Yeah, that's how, if it's legal, that's what I'll do. Once it's made legal, then I'll just get me a vape stick and try it that way. Yeah, see, now I have done, when I was in junior high, I did a report on the pros and the cons, and there is no reason why that should be illegal. None. And that's the reason they're having trouble making it legal, is because the pharmaceutical companies would go out of business. Just think, with legalized marijuana and keto, oh my goodness, we wouldn't need the pharmacies anymore. It would almost, keto pot smokers would just put Big Pharma out of business without a doubt. Right. It is natural in your brain from, if I remember, like I said, that was junior high, but your brain, first I got to think of the chemical that's in it. it's THC, right? But I can't remember what THC stands for. But whatever that is, your brain actually has a receptor for that. So we were biologically made to have it because there's a receptor for it in our brain. So the divine being put it here for us to use for medicinal purposes, and we've been ignoring it. And that's why our health has gotten so poor. So we were meant to eat keto and smoke pot. We were meant to do that to stay healthy. So, we need to get back to our natural state and nobody will be sick anymore. I told you, Deb, this channel just is whatever. These are why they're rambles, pajama parties. We're not going in with an agenda. We're just rambling, talking about whatever comes to mind. Oh, now see, that's right. Now we're talking about drinking and drugs. Now I wish I had what was it called? Tequila sunrise. I wish that's what I had right now. But I got to be at work at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, guys. This week. Yeah, tequila sunset. Oh my gosh. What made me think that I could film something when I was drunk? I remember asking my husband, sweetie, I think I want to film this. Do I look drunk? And he said, no. I said, okay. If I start to act drunk, make a motion. And we lost it. It was no. Oh my goodness. And I was able to keep it together for so long, guys, until I was like, why didn't that work? Not thinking that all this sugar-free stuff is the same weight because there's no sugar differential to create the levels. By that point, I was already too drunk when I decided to try this. I wasn't thinking scientifics and chemistry was done out the window at that point in time. So when it all just, I was like, oh, it didn't work. And I was, oh my goodness. And I remember editing that in the middle of the night and telling my husband, I'm posting it. And he come out and he said, don't do that. And my boy heard from his bedroom us talking. He come out and he goes, what? And I had already had it edited by that time. And he's like, oh, you're not posting this. And he took my phone from me. So I did not post that night. I actually decided to post it after showing it to my sister and saying, what do you think? And she's like, it's funny. And it's not too inappropriate. Go ahead and post it. So I posted that sober. So I was sober when I posted it, but I was not sober when I edited it all. So, oh my goodness. But if it wasn't for him coming out and taking my phone from me, it would have been posted in the middle of the night that night. I was getting ready to just send it right there at 3 in the morning. Oh my goodness. But I had fun and it is a good drink. It does taste good. So if anybody makes it, you're going to be like, yeah, she's right. It has a great flavor. It tastes really good. Yes, I try to be human. I want it to be fun and I want to show exactly me. I just didn't realize drunk me would make an appearance ever. Because that's why I drink at home, people. Because I get very loud. Oh my goodness. When I've been drinking, I'm a loud person anyway. I mean, I'm very loud and I'm very upfront and I have no secrets from anybody. My life is an open book. So when I'm drunk in public, oh, everybody knows I'm in the house. My husband used to be a bouncer, he was a bouncer for our nightclub here in town. Well, then he also was a roadie for a band. And my aunt happened to be in the bar that the band was playing at one night. Well, she was sitting in the back of the bar. I come in the back door because I'd went out to get something out of the band van. And when I come back in the door, I saw her sitting there and I was like, oh my goodness, hey, Connie. And everybody in the bar with the music playing turned around and looked at me. And the singer up on the stage says, well, everybody knows Sandy's back in the house. My voice was so loud from the back of the bar, it actually came through the floor monitors. So I sometimes have a hard time controlling my volume. Right. Don't drink in public for a reason. That's right. I keep it home now. I stay at home. Yeah. When I first, now didn't realize, me and my husband's story is very long, guys, but is very interesting if you want to hear it. But you got to be in for a long story if you want to hear me and my husband's story. So just let me know and I'll start telling it. But I don't want to get into it if you feel like it's going to be too long and too crazy. Are you still on, Charlene? Should I tell them? Okay, you guys want to hear. All righty. Okay, my husband is my stepbrother. But let me get there. We were actually dating before our parents got married. So we were together first. But even before that, our parents started dating in junior high. His mother, my father. They broke up. His mother married his father, Gomer, and my father married my mother. Then both of our parents, his father, my mother, became terminally ill and passed away. So then our parents, his mother and my father, got back together. But me and him had already seen each other because he was the bouncer at the bar. So we were already so when we met for the first time at his mom's house, a first official time at his mom's house, that night we went out on a date. He was like, come on, you take me for a ride. I need to ride someplace. And I got out to the car and I'm like, well, where do you need to ride to? And he's like, wherever you want to take me. We just needed to get out of there. So that night, our parents had been dating officially for 2 months. Scott and I went on our first official date, even though we had been seeing each other at the bar. So we got engaged. And then my dad calls me and he's like, what do you think if I propose to Cindy? And I'm like, oh, Dad, I think that would be wonderful. I can tell she makes you happy. Marry her. I said, we'll discuss it when I get off of work tomorrow. Because that day I was working from Wednesday through Thursday. I'm like, we'll talk about it when I get off of work tomorrow. That was Wednesday morning. So I come home and Ashley, Scott's little sister, says to me, well, you got to break up with Scott. And I'm like, well, why? And she's like, Mom and Dad got married this morning. So when he asked me if I thought it would be okay for him to marry Cindy, if that would affect mine and my husband's relationship, they were on their way to get married when he asked. So he never said, we're getting married right now. So they went and got married with nobody being there. None of us knew until after it was over that our parents had gotten married. But Scott and I was already engaged and had our wedding date set. So it's like, well, I am not breaking up with Scott just because our parents beat us to the altar. Yeah, it's crazy. But Keto Diamond's husband was a one-night stand that kept coming back. The long version, you mean from... Okay, Charlene wants me to tell you, me and my husband actually met when we were 5 years old. The first time we actually met, we were 5 years old. His babysitter lived next door to us. So when we were 5, we used to play together. Well, one day where you got to hold hands and you say that, Rover, send somebody over. What's that game called Red Rover, send Scotty right over, okay? And you got to bust through the hands. Well, he didn't want to hold my hand, and it made me cry. And Debbie, that's his babysitter, said, Scott, you hold her hand right now. One of these days, you're going to end up married to that girl. So we met at 5, and then we went to junior high together, and this girl got mad at me, and she was trying to embarrass me in the hallway, and she pushed me out in front of Scott, and she said, here she is, Sandy Moore, she's in love with you, and tried to tell Scott that I had a crush on him and that I was in love with him, which at that point in time, he wasn't even on my radar. I was dating this guy named David, and I swore at that time, my 12-year-old heart was sure I was going to end up married to David. So Scott was not even in my mind. Well, then when we re-met as adults, that night that we went on our first official date, he brought that to my attention. He's like, you've had a crush on me since we were kids. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And he still, to this day, does not believe that in junior high I didn't have a crush on him. So God had tried to get us together many, many times. Our story just kept back and forth. We were destined to be married. It was fate. My husband, I see, Cindy, I love that. I love when you know immediately that that's the person you're supposed to be with. Now, Scott and I, we didn't meet officially, though, where we knew that that's who we were going to be, you know, until later. And it had to be that way for me. I had a sister named Brenda who was paralyzed from the arms down. And I was her legs, and she was my world. And my focus for the first part of my adult life was on Brenda and taking care of her and making sure she had the best life that she could have, and that we would go on adventures. And I would have never paid attention to Scott if he would have come into my life when Brenda was alive. I wouldn't have been able to give him the time or attention that he needed, because my focus was on her and making sure that she was happy and she was living as healthy life as she could. And I even took and wait a minute, Shirley, I might be too far behind in the comment section here, because Charlene's yeah, Charlene's been with her man for a long time too. But yeah, I couldn't have paid attention to Scott before Brenda passed away, because yeah, it just wasn't in the cards. But then she passed away, and he came into my life within just a couple months. God sent him back to me when I needed him to be there, because he really supported me through that loss and that grieving process. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without my husband. So God set it up and put it back in place exactly. Tell the Hocking Hills story. Yeah, Charlene, so many times I keep forgetting about different aspects. Okay, I had built this backpack for my sister Brenda, because like I said, she was paralyzed from the arms down. So she had use of her arms, but nothing, no use, no movement or feeling from that area down. But I wanted her to be able to go hiking, because I loved hiking, and I hated to just be able to push her as far in as her wheelchair would take her and not allow her to go any further. So I built a sling that I could carry her on my back. Now, I need you guys to understand, Brenda wasn't a big girl. She was 3'9", and she weighed at that point in between 75 and 80 pounds. She fluctuated in that. And so I built this sling for her, and we would go hiking down at Hocking Hills and all over. I was very fit and active back then. Well, one day I bit off more than I could chew. And I don't know if any of you know the Hocking Hills area, but there's this, once you get down in there and you hike around, on the back section, There is a tunnel that goes up. First, you have to climb up the side of this straight up ravine on these wooden zigzaggy steps. And then once you get up there so far, there is a tunnel that cuts through the rock up to the top of that hill. And it is extremely steep and it is extremely hard to do. And you pretty much have to be fit to get up there. Well, I got halfway up them steps with Brenda on my back and I couldn't get much further. I was struggling. Well, these two men come upon me and they wanted to help. And I was like, no, because I was terrified of anybody touching my sister. It scared me to death. I was like, no, I'm just going to rest a little bit, then I'll be able to do it. Well, it was getting dusk. Well, they went on the hike without helping me because I had insisted on it. Well, I couldn't do it. Every time I tried to get up and go the rest of the way up off the side of that cliff, I was tired and I was almost passing out and I still had Brenda on my back and I just physically couldn't move. So 2 hours later, pitch black, those men come back down that tunnel and they were like, your car was the only car left in the parking lot and the wheelchair was still sitting at the top of the hill. So we knew you hadn't made it out yet. We could not leave without you. So they grabbed, they want to take Brenda off my back. And I was like, no, I don't want her. I just don't want her off my back. I don't want you to unstrap her from me. So they're like, I tell you what, we'll each get on either side of you and we'll carry you and her up out of this ravine. And they did that. Those men carried me up out of there, sit Brenda on my back and got me to her wheelchair. And they pushed her up to their car and got her loaded for me. And that was my husband and his friend Ramon. Didn't even know it until later. I was telling that story and my husband's like, oh my gosh. And he told me, he's like, I know. And he told me what I was wearing. He told me the rest of the story and like put it all together, the rest. And it was him. So I didn't even recognize him as my husband that day. You know what I mean? Like later on seeing him, that memory didn't come back to me until I was telling the story to him and he finished it for me. And he's like, that was me and Ramon. And oh my goodness. So my husband had come into my life numerous times before my sister had passed away, but it just never connected. And then once she passed on, that very next time that I seen him, I looked into his eyes and I was like, that's my man. I've been waiting for him forever. And it was just instant. Like I knew that I would be with him eventually. It's just, I remember telling somebody, because they're like, I don't think Scott's the marrying kind. And I remember me telling them, because they were wanting me to move on and not worry about Scott. And I said, well, you know what? If I move on, I'm already in love with him. If I move on, I'm breaking my own heart. How about I give him the opportunity to break my heart instead of me breaking it myself? And they're like, well, if you want to go through that, and we've been together ever since. Exactly. It was Brenda's wish for me. I know, you know. I mean, he and my husband, people see him as being rough and tough and, you know, he's a bouncer and he's a roadie and he's got tattoos and a shaved head and a goatee, and people just see him as being this hard ass. And my husband is a marshmallow. I'm telling you right now, the way he presents himself to the world is not truly how he is. I mean, he is so sensitive and so sweet and so caring, animal loving, activist. I mean, just really, oh my gosh. I wish people could see my husband the way I see him. Yeah, Scott and my sister's husband, Mick, were friends growing up. So it was strange because it just kept, him being put back in my life just kept happening. So when we got married, they talk about their childhood growing up together. So when Mick, my brother-in-law, and my husband, when we have family functions, they're able to talk about stuff because they have a past. They have a history together. Yeah, right. Biker types, people just don't even understand. And me and my husband belonged to a bike club for a long time. It's since disbanded. A lot of our members, I'm not sure what happened, but like cancer just went through our club like crazy. And the founders of it has since passed away. Just a rough time. But when we were in that club, I remember the hard time some of the single guys were having, and they were so sweet. And it's like people paste this biker image that is so unfounded. And when you look at some of the charitable things that go on and the amount of charitable activities and fundraisers that bike clubs put out there, we were doing 3 and 4 fundraisers a year. I mean, it was something else. And then for them to get a bad rap. Oh, bye, Deb. Get back to work and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Right. Bikers are fun-loving and adventurous and generous and honest, out there, raw, overall, straight up people. And you've got a few, I'm not saying there aren't some bad bikers out there, because you got a very tiny few that give the rest of them a bad name. And that's what's sad. The whole group is judged on just a couple. Oh my gosh, guys, we've been on here for almost an hour and a half. And I have had such a great time, but I've got to be in work tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I've got to work tomorrow from 8 in the morning until 10 at night. So I've got my whole day. I've got to work tomorrow. So I'm going to have to get off here and get my bath and get ready for work and get to bed. But I have had a fantastic time, guys. It's been... Oh, and plus Charlene, her boy has diabetes. He's type 1, so he's got to get his nighttime meds. Alrighty, Charlene, I will talk to you later. Love you. Tell Marcus and the guys love them. You guys have a great evening and blessings. Talk to you later.